Jerry hit me and said, hey, it's funny how everyone flips out when players transfer, but DeBoer can abandon Washington and nobody bats an eye. Why not treat players the same as coaches? Well, players aren't coaches, firstly. Secondly, did everyone flip out? Let me just hit this. Let me just be real with you. Coaches leaving is not the same as players leaving. I know everyone wants to broad stroke and everyone wants to 50,000 foot it. There is a ton of difference between a college football player and a head coach. Most notably, employment is the main difference. Most notably, contract versus not having a contract. But let's back up for a second. Okay, I went at it with Walker about this today. There's like a 50-to-1 ratio of people who claim everyone's outraged about the transfer portal versus the actual number of people who are outraged about the portal. Here's what that sounds like. You ever seen this? Or you ever heard this? Oh, everyone gets outraged about kids going in the portal, but no one minds these coaches leaving. Where's all the outrage? I know some people are mad about the portal. I'm not claiming that there is no anger about it. I'm just claiming the anger is far overblown in relation to, the amount of people who talk about it. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is coaches don't leave penalty-free. That's the other thing that I hear a lot is, well, coaches just go across the country penalty-free. Why shouldn't players be able to do the same? Because coaches don't move penalty-free. Do we have the Thamel tweet? All right, so Pete Thamel last week. Nick Saban retires. Pete Thamel immediately posts this. He says, here are the buyouts for potential Alabama head coaching candidates. Lanning, $20 million. In reality, it's higher than that. DeBoer, $12 million. Dabo, $7.5. Franklin, $6. Norvell, $4. The point is, this is not penalty-free movement. Just because you don't see Greg Byrne write a physical check for $7.5 or $12 million and hand it to the school whose coach he's taking doesn't mean it didn't happen, guys. So that's the big difference. There is language in anyone's contract in this business that dictates what happens if you break your contract and go work for someone else. That's called a buyout. That's what that exists for. Yeah, you can move. It won't be without penalty. Florida State could leave the ACC if they wanted to, but it's not without penalty. Now, that dollar figure is a whole lot higher than taking a head coach, but my point is, those are employees, they have a contract, and therefore that's how you break a contract. Well, in college football, players, they basically do move freely right now. Eventually, if you transfer so many times, there's a penalty on it, and that may go away in the not-too-distant future, or maybe it's deemed irrelevant because maybe players eventually gain employment status. You know what the argument will be then? The argument then will be, why can't these players move? The coaches move. Same argument that's made right now. When players enter into contracts, it'll be, this true freshman, in exchange for employment status, in exchange for a revenue share of the TV rights of the SEC, you made him sign a minimum of 2 or 3 years to be a wide receiver at Ole Miss, but he wants to leave after 1 year. Why shouldn't he be able to leave? Because the piece of paper he signed says he can't. Employment status sounds great, doesn't it? Until there's a penalty to be paid if you want to move. So my counter is, most people aren't worked up about the transfer portal. Most people have accepted it. Like in their perfect world, they would love to see not 2,000 or 3,000 names in the thing. They'd love some continuity of roster. But most people have gotten on and most people have gotten over that and moved on with their lives. Most people aren't outraged about the portal. However, there are a lot of folks who, for whatever reason, get mad when coaches move, and it's not penalty-free, but like they don't watch the AD write the buyout check, so they assume it's penalty-free, and they say, why can't players do this? Well, they're not the same people. Why can't the apple do what the orange does? They're two different fruits. Oh, man. What a player-coach fruit metaphor that was.